We would like to thank Tony Petrofetta for his many years as president of the Wakefield Education Foundation. He's here this evening. I'd like him to stand. We could give him a round of applause, please. Thank you. We would like to begin this portion of the evening with greetings from the chairman of the school committee, Dr. Christine Bridges. Dr. Bridges.
On behalf of the school committee, I'm honored to welcome tonight our guests, friends and relatives of our honored guests, and all here who are friends of education in Wakefield. I'm delighted to welcome you to the second Celebration of Learning Banquet. At about this same time last year, I stood here and welcomed everyone to the first Celebration of Learning Banquet. At that time, I said, for a long time, the school committee had wanted to do something like this. Take time out to celebrate some of the many things that make our schools great and to honor some of the many people who contribute to that greatness. At that time, I said thanks for the renewed efforts of the re-energized Wakefield Education Foundation, spearheaded by Superintendent Holmes and Lauren Patrick-Amuse, who made that possible last year. And at that time, my hope was that last year would be just a beginning. I think that there was an excitement about that night. I think there was really almost a giddiness that we had actually gotten off the ground the concept of celebrating all that is great about Wakefield schools. Well, if last year was our year to get that concept off the ground, as I stand here tonight and look out at this room with more people, with more excitement and energy, and with more to celebrate, I think that we are off the ground and this concept is soaring. And last year, my hope was that this celebration would continue, although I wasn't sure that would happen. But as I stand here tonight, thinking that next year we may in fact have to find a bigger room to hold this in, I'm sure that this effort will continue, and that we will come together every year to celebrate our successes, to recognize and thank students, staff, parents, and members of the community, all who bring their talents, their time, their energy, and their support for education in Wakefield. There's so much to celebrate. You see just a little bit of it here tonight as you came in through the hall into this room. We have good schools filled with great students. We have a talented, dedicated, caring professional staff, and we have an administration committed to excellence that uses as the yardstick for its decisions one simple measure: what would be best for the children in Wakefield. So on behalf of the school committee, I welcome you all here tonight, and I invite you to join with us in 1998 through 1999 as we start on a new year to help us build on the strengths and to expand our successes. These are our schools, and there's so much to be proud of. Thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you, Dr. Bridges. As we go into the award presentation portion of this evening, I would like to say that the community responded very positively for the request for nominations, and that the people honored here are representative of many wonderful people on staff and in the community who go beyond the call of duty to make the Wakefield Public Schools great. Our only regret is that because of the numbers, we could not honor them all. But it is our intention for this to be an annual event, so we hope that you will resubmit names for next year. For the awards presentation, I would like to introduce the Superintendent of the Wakefield Public Schools, Mr. Terrence Holmes.
When I came to Wakefield, one of the great hopes that I had was that someday we would have an evening like this. And little did Lauren Patrick-Amuse know that 2.5 years ago, when she came into my office looking for some way to contribute to the schools, that I would con her into all the work to recreate, to re-energize the Wakefield Educational Foundation so that we could enjoy the activities of this evening. So a special thank you to you, Lauren, for all the work you've done. Before we move to the awards, I'd like you to help greet someone new to Wakefield. With us tonight is Dr. Hazel Brenham, the new Director of Special Education Services. She's joined us, and would you help welcome her to Wakefield? My hope when we started this activity a number of years ago is that we could have the same kind of celebrations for academic learning that we certainly enjoy in this community for sports, for drama, for music, and those things that we do so well in this community. And so it's especially grateful to you to help bring the fourth corner to this big wheel that academics gets equal and certainly represents the thing that we are all about. Let's start tonight by certainly looking for a way to honor those fourth graders. I would ask the fourth graders all to come forward who are on the program and assemble over here, please, by school. And I would invite the principals, Mrs. McGrath, Dr. Schurman, Mr. Boyd, Miss Barrett, and I'd also invite Ralph Benson from the Savings Bank, who has been so active on the foundation, to help with the elementary school awards. Would the children come forward, please? However, if you just stand there, then are you announcing the names from here? Yeah.
What order do you have in the room?
Alphabetical.
I'll go first. Let's talk about the kids.
Okay, at this particular time, I'd like to begin by announcing the Doll Bear winners. First person on the program is Katie Doyle. Katie? Next young lady on the program is Carolyn Conlon. And then Michelle Ellis. And Caitlin Beglia.
Okay, I'm very pleased to recognize, picture. Okay, I'm very proud to honor two Doral School students this evening. First is Kelly Farrington. And Charlie Finley.
And I am too very thrilled and honored to be able to present to you the Franklin School students being represented tonight. First, I have Caitlin Boyle. Caitlin? Next, we have Jana Cucurullo. Melanie DeStalla. And last but not least, Sarah Smith.
It is my pleasure to recognize the following fourth graders from the Greenwood School. Christine Adams. Daniel Casey. Bobby DiNapoli. Julia Fee. Michael Gurgin. Amy Looney. Tom McManama. Danielle Moore. Ashley Parrott. Catherine Sullivan. Laura Von Holton.
Dr. Shorman and I are lucky. We get to do this twice. From the Montrose School, once again, I'm very proud of these young children and thrilled that they're here tonight representing the Montrose School. First, we have Megan Melanson. Next, we have Caitlin Papagano. And last, Rebecca Slavsky.
From the Walton School, I'm proud to recognize Rachel Andrews. Ellen Boudry. Lindsay DeMars. And Kristen Healy.
Let's give a special round of applause to all those fourth graders. The criteria, 2 years, grade 3 and 4, nothing on their report card but a 1. A 1 is top in effort. Thank you very much. Please welcome Mrs. Rose DiTullio and Dr. Paula Mullen to do the middle school awards.
We have several awards for the middle school, and we have 4 different categories. The first category is for students who are OM state finalists and are actually competing in the World Finals in Orlando, Florida this week. So we're going to announce the names, but they're in Florida, so We'll give them their certificates later on. But those students are Pamela Cahill, Kelsey Correa, Audrey Grigan, Ashley Hawken, Bridget Shine, Christina Sansonito, Christine Spindler, and they're all grade 5 students at the Galvin. The next group of students are a very special group of 8th grade students who have really been a tremendous help in organizing for volunteer charities, fundraisers, bulletin boards, you name it. They've not only organized it, they've run it, and they've just been wonderful to work with. And we want to recognize 3 8th grade students, Caitlin Anamateros, Amanda Montanez, and Catherine Porter. This year, the student council was begun. I think there was one many years ago, but it was reintroduced to the middle school. And we have 3 students representing the student council, and these were the student representatives to our handbook committee. They were insightful, they were outgoing, they were wonderful to have on the committee, real hard workers who took it very seriously. And those 3 students are representing grade 6, Haley Moore, from grade 7, Matthew Solis, and from grade 8, Melissa Goyette. And our last group of students are, again, really what it's all about at the middle school. These are our students who have all A's in grade 8. Emily Kumpel, Laura Urban, Christopher Serino, and the last one is Allison Spindler, and I believe she's in Florida cheering on her sister who's at the Worlds in the OM competition.
My pleasure to welcome Mr. Ron Strominski, the high school principal, to give out the high school awards And to help, Mr. Ted Kroos, very active on the high school council and a long-term member of the Wakefield Education Foundation.
I'd like to ask those members of Wakefield Memorial High School who are being honored tonight to please come up here now and to join us at the podium. And while they're coming, on behalf of the faculty, staff, and administration of Wakefield High School, I want to thank the hardworking members of the Wakefield Education Foundation for making this evening possible. We're pleased and proud to be a part of it here at the high school and to share with you the great success and the culmination, not so much of what we do at Wakefield Memorial High School, but what all of you do here to create the kind of students that I'm presenting to you tonight. These are the top students in the graduating class of 1998. Their teachers are here. I know you're as proud or prouder than we are of that contribution. Also of the parents and grandparents and friends who were so supportive during the course of the last 13 years. On June 14th, we'll say bon voyage to these fine young people and wish them the best of luck in their future. Let's begin by welcoming Suzanne Began to the podium. Suzanne. We were supposed to have breakfast together this year at the Harvard Club, and I didn't make it. So I owe this young lady a breakfast, but join me, if you would, in welcoming this year's valedictorian, the #1 student in the graduating class of 1998. Wakefield will graduate over 200 students this year. This is the pride and joy of the class of 1998. In September, she'll be attending Dartmouth College, and we congratulate her. And why Dartmouth?
It's a beautiful campus, and it has a great program.
In addition to being the top scholar in the high school, Suzanne is an all-around student, as you could imagine, whether it's on the tennis court or in the National Honor Society or representing Wakefield and as a community in community service throughout the area. Suzanne's done a wonderful job. Suzanne, congratulations. Allison Guerrier cannot be with us tonight. Allison is one of our top 5 graduates from the high school. She'll be attending NYU come this fall. She's a very active member of our diversity club. Scott Leahy. Scott, want to join me? Scott's one of our top 5 graduating members this year. He's going to be attending Tufts University. What are you going to be majoring in, Scott?
Mechanical engineering.
Mechanical engineering. He's a member of our National Honor Society. He's been an active member of our math team, a member of our social awareness club. And ultimately, engineering, did you say?
Yes.
Well, we congratulate you tonight. Wish you the best of luck at Tufts. We know you're going to make every one of us proud in the future. Thank you. Miss Amy LeClaire. Amy? Amy, another of our top 5 scholars in the class of 1998. Amy will be attending Providence College. On your way down there, you can stop in and see me. I live down that way, you know. Amy's been awfully active, I'm sure you know, if you follow our music program here at Wakefield High School. She's just about in every musical group we have. She's a member of the award-winning marching band. She's been a member of the symphony, a member of the chorale. She's in the National Honor Society. She's in drama. She swims. This lady does it all, and we're proud of her, and we know that your parents and your grandparents and everyone involved is. Amy, at PC, what are we going to be studying?
I'm undecided. I'm going to the Liberal Arts Honors Program. So.
The Liberal Arts Honors Program. Well, good for you. Teaching is a great thing, did you know?
I'm looking into it.
She said she's looking into it. Congratulations, Amy.
Thank you.
Mr. Ainsley McCall. Ainsley? We have to move the mic up a little bit for this fellow. This is someone to look up to. Ainsley McCall is going to be attending the University of Massachusetts at Amherst on a full scholarship come September. Ainsley is a unique individual. I first met Ainsley when he was a freshman. This young man was already a computer expert when he walked through the doors of this high school. He wanted to know why we didn't have more computers when he got here. And so it was that he spent a number of days outside of this high school seeking some of the things that we couldn't offer at that time. I'm pleased to say that we've made some gains, have we not?
Oh, certainly.
And he said it just the way we rehearsed it. It took 2 hours. Ainsley, what are you going to be studying at UMass?
Computer science.
Ainsley hasn't limited his educational endeavors to Wakefield. He's done some coursework already at the UMass Lowell. He's done enrichment things down in Cambridge at MIT. And he's going to make us proud again. And congratulations, Ainsley, to you. Miss Erica Storella. Erica is the salutatorian of the class of 1998, and I know you know what that means. She is the number 2 ranking student in this year's class. Congratulations. I got a chance to get to know Erica very early and often over the 4 years because her classmates deemed her very worthy of representing the class each year. Erica currently is the secretary of the class of 1998. She's been very active in track and soccer. She's in the National Honor Society, and she's going to be attending my alma mater. And I've notified all the professors that you're coming. Unfortunately, they're not there any longer. They're all in retirement, but Erica will be at Boston University, and what are we going to be studying?
Liberal arts.
Leading to?
Undecided.
You know, teaching is a noble endeavor, Erica, and you'd make a great one. Congratulations, Erica. Best wishes on behalf of all of us. And I hope, if you have the opportunity, that you're going to be joining us on Landrigan Field at 2 p.m. on June 14th for commencement ceremonies. We look forward to seeing these 5 fine students along with their classmates. We're proud of all of them. At this time, I want to turn the podium over to a member of our Wakefield High School School Council, Mr. Ted Croce, with some closing words for this part of the program. Ted?
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to say thank you very much for everybody who turned out to this wonderful event, and we hope that this will become an annual event. This is such an important thing that we're supporting here, the celebration of learning. Thank you very much. I just want to relate a very brief story to you that I feel is very reflective of what's going on here tonight. Can you all hear me up back? I don't project very well. Very recently, the high school was fortunate enough to have some student teachers here from Tufts University, and they were wonderful, wonderful young educators. I know they're going to be great educators in the future. I had the pleasure of personally getting to know one of the history teachers. His name was Chris Ackerman. Very vibrant, very energetic young man. He was just superb in his teaching. We had many conversations regarding education, some very stimulating philosophical conversations regarding the topic. And in one of his last, correspondences to me, through email, I just want to read one statement that I feel is very reflective of what's going on here. And what he said was, regardless of the size, newness, or attractiveness of any physical plant, It is truly the people who create an educational environment instead of simply an institution. This is something that I feel that you, the administration, and all involved here truly recognize and work to promote. And I think that's very reflective of what's going on here tonight. Thank you very much.
Good, thank you. At this time, a little lower. At this time, we have a special award and a surprise. When we spoke of this next idea at the WEF board meeting, there was an overwhelming response, so I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Holmes, who will introduce our special guest.
As you're all quite aware, this past year, Wakefield lost a wonderful friend, and a friend to me as well. Bill Scully wanted so much for this community and so much for the schools in this system. He had a wonderful way about him, but a very dynamic leader, a way to bring consensus to ideas without conflict. Lastly, he showed us all not only how to live, but to die. And his courage would be a wonderful example for all of us. Tonight, I'd like to ask his wife, Sandy, to join me at the podium as we honor someone in this audience who we feel reflect many of the ideals that Bill Scully was about. So, Sandy, would you join me at the podium, please? Sandy Scully. I'll read the caption and then I'll ask Mrs. Scully to make the award. This honor is bestowed on Dr. Paula Mullen in memory of William C. Scully, Jr., to recognize her commitment to the ideals of public education and her display of courage to her family, to her friends, and to her colleagues. Many of the attributes certainly displayed to all of us by Bill Scully. Presented this the 28th day of May, 1998, to Dr. Paula Mullen.
Thank you to the Scully family for being here tonight. The next award is a complete surprise to the recipient. As we were reactivating the Wakefield Educational Foundation over the past 2.5 years, this person was invaluable for her knowledge, support, and expertise. We have asked Mr. Holmes to present this award also.
And Dr. Bridges, would you join me, please? This person that we're going to honor tonight is, first of all, the most wonderful human being. She's a wonderful family person. She's a wonderful friend to so many people. She's an incredible secretary. She's a super competent worker. And better than that, she has spent 27 years going to school committee meetings. Can you imagine that? Best of all, she's just a beautiful person. Let's honor Susan Majeski.
I, too, on behalf of the school committee, must use this opportunity to tell you just a bit about Susan. You know, there are some people in this world who have a gift for seeing the big picture. People who have dreams, who have visions, who can understand the concepts, and who can see how they want things to come out in the end. And then there are people in this world who have the talents that are needed to roll up their sleeves and plunge in and do the work and attend to the details that allow the visionaries' dreams to be realized. People who have attention to the details and incredible organizational skills. And in my experience, I've found that it's very rare to find one individual who has both of these abilities. It's even rarer yet to find someone who does this day after day, meeting after meeting, with grace and warmth, with humor and style, with dedication, discretion, and with distinction. And it's my privilege tonight on behalf of the school committee, and I'd like to invite up here all present and any alumni school committee members who may be with us tonight, because we have two gifts for Susan. So I know that Pat is here and Cy, and I've seen Joanne, and if there are any other school committee members, won't you please come up with me, because this is from the school committee. Ostensibly, as Mr. Holmes said, we're here to honor Susan for 27 years of distinguished service since 1971. And here's Mr. Leo DeLore, who I believe was on that school committee in 1971. But in reality, I'd like to take just a moment to tell, oh, and John, come on up, John. John Bogus, our newest school committee member. I'd like to ask you to please just give me a moment or two to tell you what we're really honoring Susan for here tonight. It's not just 27 years. In reality, we honor her as the quintessential moving force behind the scenes. You know, you think about people who work quietly behind the scenes. Susan is that quintessential person, a person with enormous but quiet influence that the public, that you all, that people who watch those school committee meetings never get to see. Susan is essentially the glue that holds it all together, and I can't think of a more tireless advocate for education in Wakefield. And we have two small gifts to give her tonight as tokens of our appreciation. The first gift, if you would get that bag behind you, Pat. This is just, school committee meetings on occasion have been known to get a little tense. And this gift is just something, the one that's wrapped, would you give to Sue? And that's something for her to take home and maybe help her relax a bit after one of those particularly tense meetings. And as for the second gift, I need to tell you first a few things about Susan's talents in order for this gift to make sense to you. Those talents that she has are not bestowed solely on the school committee. Her real job, as you know, is as the superintendent of schools executive secretary. And in that capacity, Susan is the voice of the Wakefield school system. She is the warm, calming, unfailingly courteous voice that everyone and anyone who calls the central office about everything and anything first hears. In addition, Susan is currently the linchpin for this celebration of learning banquet, handling all the tickets and all the arrangements and all the details and all the millions of things that need to get done. She's also the organizing force between next Friday's Odyssey of the Mind raffle dinner, which I will be coming back to you with a commercial announcement for later in the program. She's the clerk for the school building committee, and these are just a few of the commitments that she's involved in. So in light of this, our second gift, I think, has a certain appropriateness. Susan, in your spare time, we hope you can reflect on this. It's a little book called Meditations for Women Who Do Too Much. I want you to know, we all want you to know, all of us who have worked with Susan, we want you to know that it's Susan Majeski who makes all of us, including Mr. Holmes, look good. It's Susan who makes us appear to be organized, to be prepared, to be put together, to be thoughtful. We get the credit, but Susan does the work. And I just want to give you two brief examples. For this little speech tonight about Susan, one of my plans initially was to find the minutes of the 1971 school committee. And I thought it would be a nice historical touch to see who was on the committee then, what we were doing, and just use that as part of my remarks. Now, under other conditions, Susan would have been the person I would have called to find those minutes for me, and she would have found them, she would have made copies of them for me, and she would have delivered them to me. I didn't have the time to do that. Susan always has the time. If I had done that, people would say, that Chris Bridges always has the time to do those things. Well, I need you to know that it's not Chris Bridges, it's Susan Majeski. And I need you to know that that yellow rose you may have seen in front of Bill Scully's place at our first school committee meeting after his death was there because Susan thought that we should do that. Susan gives us our grace, she gives us our organization, she gives us our encouragement, and we all know how much she does, and we're pleased tonight to be able to tell you all how much she does. Thank you, Susan. And if any of my colleagues would care to comment, I would be pleased to turn over the microphone.
My name is Leo DeLore, and I was on the committee when Susan first started. Susan always looked as though she had a secret clothing allowance. She was most cooperative, as Dr. Bridges has just said, with the school committee members and members of the press who needed backup information. She's always been strongly but quietly loyal to the superintendents with whom she has worked. Susan has been the essence of discretion. This is the most desirable trait, one that is most admirable in today's society. It is amazing that Susan is a bright, intelligent woman, because some of us school committee members, myself included, occasionally we're tuned to the psychic network, and at times we're zoned out. But Susan remained the same. She's a lovely woman and a great friend. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those wonderful words. It's a complete shock, and I have to say, the 27 years have been most enjoyable. I have met so many wonderful people, and I just thank you all. Good night.
The next person we'd like to honor is one in her retirement. Jeanette Quigley was appointed back in September of 1968. She worked at the Hurd School from 68 to 73. She worked at the Lincoln School from 74 to 79. She did a short stint at the Dolbear School and has since been at the Atwell School, where she'll retire this coming June. Jeanette Quigley will be best remembered for her having developed a wonderful sense of positive respect, student to student, student to adult, adult to adult. Please help me wish Jeanette Quigley a wonderful retirement. Next, we'd like to honor a group of community volunteers. Again, one of the most wonderful things about Wakefield is it is a town of volunteers, people who step forward to give of their talents, their time, their energy to make the schools a wonderful place to work and be. One of those people is Nancy Bertrand. She's the town historian. She helps us every year with the new staff orientation with a wonderful expression of the history of this community. She has organized and runs the Friends of the West Ward School, the Little Red School. She's an organizer of just about every town event, festival, or whatever. She's the executive secretary to the Chamber of Commerce, and she's a major contributor to the quality of life of this community. Please help me honor Nancy Bertrand.
You ran too long. You got a meeting.
Joe said she had to go to a meeting again. Nancy Bertrand, a wonderful person. The next person we'd like to honor is a super volunteer. She worked extensively on at the Franklin School as a volunteer for over 5 years. She was the district-wide coordinator for the Arts Enrichment Program. She was a grant writer, an organizer, a scheduler, and a bright, wonderful smile, and she helped bring cultural arts to the elementary schools in a very meaningful way in this community. Please help us honor Maria Caruso. The next honoree recently retired as the president of the Item Company and publisher of the Daily Item newspaper. Robert Dolbear was the two-time president of the Citizen Scholarship Foundation. He is a former corporate of the Savings Bank, a former director of the YMCA, and of the Rotary Club. He's a 1948 graduate of Wakefield High School. The paper, through Robert's efforts, and his son now Glenn are great supporters of our district-wide elementary spelling bee and a special friend to the Dolbear School. Robert Dolbear is just a good community citizen, and so please help me honor Robert Dolbear tonight. Again, Mr. Dolbear couldn't be with us tonight. This next person, again, is a tireless worker for the community of Wakefield. She, of course, is the head librarian at the BD Library. She worked tirelessly on behalf of this community to make sure that you have the most wonderful, renovated, dynamic, and new library in this community. She was one of the first people to welcome me to the community and to reach out her hand of cooperation, because, of course, the public library is certainly an important educational institution in this community. Sharon Gilly is an educator and a friend to the kids and adults of this community and a great community resource. Help me honor Sharon Gilly, please. Another super volunteer. Corey Helmer has been very active in the PROMS leadership team. PROMS, a special project to advance the causes of math and science. She's a cultural resource partner and grant writer. She has mapped the urban forest. She's a grant writer for the Watershed Awareness Program. She's committed to environmental and educational issues, not only in this community, but beyond. She's helped us develop web pages in our community at the school level. Again, just a wonderful community volunteer and friend of the schools. Help me honor Corey Helmer. Boy, this superintendent's job is great. You get to kiss all these pretty ladies. I promise not to kiss the next one. I'm not sure he's here either. Roger Maloney, good guy, hard worker, successful coach, director of recreation in the community, impacts the life of many, many people, especially young people. Wakefield Citizen of the Year. He helps assign all the fields that are used in the community. He's a champion of student activities. Roger Maloney is a good friend to the town of Wakefield and the Wakefield schools. Help me honor Roger Maloney, please. He's probably off raking a field. This next person was the coordinator and founder of the Wakefield LAD program. LAD standing Learning About Disabilities. Again, a movement in this community and the state to recognize that we need to know about diversity and those who are not as fortunate physically, mentally, or otherwise as many others in this room. Mary Smolas was very instrumental in bringing the LAD program to this community and dedicated 12 years to this program. Help me honor Mary Smolas, please. Again, she couldn't be with us tonight. The next person couldn't as well. She is in Orlando with two of her children at the World OMs. But it's most appropriate that we also honor another super volunteer in this community, and that is Marie Spindler. Marie was one of the original founders and workers of Wakefield Education Foundation, super school volunteer, coordinator of copying and other volunteers at our middle school currently, and an advocate, and certainly an outspoken advocate for quality schools. Please help me honor Marie Spindler. If I could ask Mrs. McGrath to join me for the next award, please.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes. It gives me great pleasure this evening to recognize two wonderful individuals in this community, William and Ginny Belmure. They have been nominated to receive this recognition for their donation of art materials, supplies, furniture, resource files, and paintings from their collection and from the art studio of their son, Bill Belmure Jr., who passed away suddenly last July. Bill was a noted artist and photographer who operated the Belmure Art Studio on North Avenue in Wakefield for many years. He conducted several art and photography workshops, classes, and seminars. Bill also coordinated numerous wildlife African safari groups. On behalf of the Wakefield Public Schools and Shar Peterman, who is the Art Department curriculum facilitator, we extend our gratitude to the Belmure family for their donation in memory of Bill. As a 1963 graduate of Wakefield High School, Bill would be honored to know that his art materials will assist young people in their artistic endeavors as they go through our school system.
The next person we'd like to honor is the co-president, or was the co-president of the PTO at the Montrose School for 3 years. She certainly helped coordinate a lot of different painting activities at that school, both in the library and the auditorium. She helped run the LAD program at that school. She's now heavily at work, doing the same kinds of good things that she started at the Montrose School, advancing those issues now at the Galvin Middle School. Please help me honor Susan Wetmore. The last person in this grouping is, again, one of those super volunteers. She's very active on the Franklin PTO. She's the secretary to the board of directors of the Chamber of Commerce. She's become a very active person in the Wakefield Education Foundation. She's recently been appointed treasurer. She's a tireless worker. She's a super lady. And when you meet her, you're going to see one of the most wonderful smiles you ever saw. She's also the organizer of tonight's dinner. Please help me honor Susan Worden. Next, we'd like to move into the phase of our program where we honor those people who have dedicated most of their lives to the Wakefield schools. Those, first of all, serving 35 years in our school system, and then on to those serving 25 years. And I would invite Dr. Herb Levine, Deputy Superintendent, to come forward for this part of the program.
First of all, Susan, I'd like to buy a little of what's ever in that green box. If it can calm you down after a school committee meeting, I want some. One of the things that wasn't talked about when Susan was being talked about was the fact that as soon as she realized she was being talked about, her head immediately went down like this. I was sitting with her. And that's her great capacity for humility, which is really one of the greatest attributes of any human being, and Susan certainly has that as well. Just a couple of stories, very quick, before I begin, which will preface my remarks. First of all, Florence Martin and I were talking a little bit before dinner about her first grade class and whether or not Mr. Holmes was going to teach it before the end of the year. And it brought back to mind a story about my own educational history. This is my 29th year. I'm ending my 29th year in education, and I've been the principal of 2 high schools and the assistant headmaster of South Boston High School during desegregation from 76 to 88. Those were interesting times, but nothing matches the 15 minutes that I spent one day in my first year of teaching. This is a true story. I taught in a K through 8 school, very old, in Revere, called the Julia Ward Howe School. And I taught U.S. history to the 6th, 7th, and 8th grades. And every year, the elementary parents came in for short sessions to meet with the elementary teachers. And lo and behold, my first year of teaching, I was told that I had to spend 20 minutes in one of the elementary classrooms to give a break to the teacher to go meet with parents. And I drew the short straw of the first grade. I went into the first grade classroom, and as soon as the teacher left, a little girl said to me, "Can we take out the paste?" And God help me, I said yes. 20 students turned into 200 immediately before my eyes. They were everywhere. Little boy was tugging on my leg. Would I tell a fairy tale? I said yes.
And I was immediately told that I was telling it wrong, and then looked into the corner and saw a little girl crying for absolutely no reason. 15 minutes. I was then relieved. And I swore at that time that I would never be alone in a first grade classroom again, and I never have been. Teaching has become rather complex over the last 25 to 35 years. Imagine the auto mechanic, for example, that graduated from trade school in 1963. And imagine the skills that that auto mechanic needs to know today that he or she did not learn, in 1963 probably he, did not learn through the trade school at that time. Computerization, for example. We now call them automotive engineers. A dying breed, by the way. Very difficult to get good automotive engineers. Well, teaching has changed as well. And there is the story about this teacher who was having a very, very difficult time. Teaching 25 years, coincidentally, was not looking well. His friends and colleagues were finding him not looking well at all, and said to him, "Why don't you go to the doctor?" And he went to the doctor, and the doctor said, "You have a tremendously bad case of ulcers, and you need to get away from the stress and the strain of teaching every day." And he came back to school feeling very despondent, and his colleagues convinced him to ask for a medical leave of absence, which he did and was granted by his wonderfully compassionate deputy superintendent. Off he went on a medical leave of absence to a far-off land, much to the chagrin of his friends, because his friends thought that this would add to the difficulty that he was already having physically. 2 months went by, and a letter was received, and the letter said, "This land is a godforsaken land, a hard land. I wake up every morning and I have to shake out my linens to make sure there are no tarantulas or scorpions in them. We go down to the river to bathe and have to get out of the way of crocodiles who are lunging at us. Monkeys throw things at us on a regular basis and we have to dodge them. Every step we take may be into some sort of sand pit that we can't get out of. And I've been bitten by everything from a gnat to a bat. P.S. Feeling great. Ulcer's gone." Teaching is a difficult thing. Not everybody can do it, and certainly not everybody can do it well. To be around 25 to 35 years is really miraculous. If you've been in this business, you will know that. Teachers cultivate the very first of our senses that we should take care never to let rust through disuse. That is really the sixth sense, the imagination. The wide open eye which leads us always to see truth more vividly, to comprehend more broadly, to concern ourselves more deeply, to be all of our lives sensitive and aware to the powers and responsibilities given to us as human beings. It is this that teachers do so well. It is this reason more than any other that we honor them and their profession. Mahatma Gandhi said, "I've always believed that the true textbook for the pupil is the teacher. Educators must be chosen not merely for their special qualification, but more for their personality, their character. For we teach more by what we are than what we teach." Aristotle said, "I am indebted to my father for living, to my teacher for living well." We have honored and cherished our teachers throughout history. We honor and cherish those whom we are about to recognize this evening. Those who have given so much of themselves for so long, 25 and 35 years of teaching to the town of Wakefield. Those who, in the words of Henry Brooke Adams, quote, "affect eternity, whose influence is never-ending." Please join me in celebrating the careers of the following teachers who have given 35 years of service to the town of Wakefield. Jean Butner. Jean is not here this evening. Congratulations to Jean. Dan Blanchard. Judith Cherry. Mary Diopoulos. Albert Daly. Patricia Schneider. Next will be that group of teachers that has given 25 years of service to the Wakefield Public Schools. Eleanor Bazak. She's not here this evening. Congratulations, Eleanor. Gregory Bellew. Susan Connolly. Susan is unable to be here tonight. I feel like the Academy Awards. Nancy Frederick. Edward Garagosian. Merle Gordon. Irene Kelly. Jean Kean. Patricia O'Keefe. Patricia said to me as we walked in tonight, imagine being recognized for longevity. Boy, are we old. Well cured, I think. Barbara Paris. Barbara's not here this evening. Congratulations to Barbara. Carol Philbrick. Carol is not here this evening. Congratulations to Carol. Robert Regan. I think Barbara, Carol, and Robert are having a party somewhere. Congratulations to Robert. Barbara Jeffrey Richards. Mary Alice Ryan. Thomas Ryan. Margaret Peggy Schleicher. Ann Scott. Linda Smith. Mary Spinney. Mary is walking gingerly because she took a nasty spill a few weeks ago and never missed a beat, never missed a day, never missed her smile. So thank you, Mary, for all that you do every day. Mary Steets. Dr. Mark Toner. And Eleanor Yesiason. My portion of the program is over, but it was certainly the most exciting.
Humble, isn't he? Thank you again to Ted Croce for helping Dr. Levine with those awards. If I could ask Dr. Bridges to help me with the last set of awards, I would be grateful for that. The next person we'd like to honor certainly has done the battle of the school committee. I don't know whether you know, but her first love is a primary teacher. She's worked for years with those little bitty ones, probably those first graders or second graders. And again, I did refuse to go to that first grade class tomorrow based on the advice of Dr. Levine. Pat Bucher is a wonderful parent. She served 3 years on the school committee. She will be remembered for advancing the cause of school policy, site-based budgeting, lowering class size, improving the work of the school councils, improving libraries, and certainly supporting administration when it wasn't necessarily popular to do. She's a hard worker. She's a friend of teachers, an advocate for quality education. Thank you, Pat Bucher, for 3 years on the school committee. Good, thank you. As Lauren said at the beginning of her introduction to the evening, we were overwhelmed this year with wonderful nominations. We solicited nominations from you, the community, and you responded. And we were not able to honor all of the people certainly deserving. But there's another year, and certainly we will try to recognize all the people in this community that dedicate themselves. Some additional nominations that did come in, though, in the area of staff that we feel a special need to honor tonight. First of all, Maura Buckley. Maura was a catalyst for reading reform. She's a wonderful reading teacher. She's instituted the guided reading program. She's provided workshop after workshop. She's a wonderful teacher of teachers. She has been very active on our professional development committee. She's been very active on our language arts committee. She's been very active on just about every committee. She's active in the Teachers Association, both at the local and state level. and she's helped many, many kids overcome reading difficulties. Please help me honor Mara Buckley. Another wonderful professional. His name is synonymous with quality. Quality in drama and theater, in teaching, choral music, in everything he does. He started the Wakefield Repertory Theater, the Wakefield Repertory Youth Theater. He has certainly directed too many Class A performances for me to inventory for you at this point in time. I've had the opportunity the last number of years to attend the awards banquet of the drama group at each of the end of the year. And I've had the wonderful opportunity to witness the true impact that he's had on the life of kids and the love and respect that they have for him. One of Wakefield's truly most outstanding professionals. Help me honor Ron Shabaro. This next honoree was hired back in 1967. Very successful teacher and coach, facilitator for physical education for the system of Wakefield, winner of over 350 varsity games in soccer, coached 2 state champions for the town of Wakefield in boys soccer. But I think his greatest impact is on the hundreds of young people that he has transmitted just a wonderful set of correct values to. Again, Bill Scully is smiling down tonight, knowing that we are going to honor Richard Kelly. I'd ask Sandy to come up because Bill would love to have been here to help us honor Dick Kelly. So Sandy, will you help me with this award? Another wonderful professional educator, a wonderful first-grade teacher, impacted the lives of many of those youngsters on their first experience in public schools. Very active in the Teachers Association, and certainly a spokesman for what's good for teaching and teachers. Very active in the original formation of the Wakefield Education Foundation, a wonderful fundraiser to get that organization off to a good start. Honest, forthright, and unknown to most, a very generous person. Please help me honor Florence Martin. This next guy, some of you would say, Dennis O'Leary. Who is Dennis O'Leary? Ask the kids and you'll know who Dennis O'Leary is. Dennis is the quiet one. He's the hard worker behind the scenes. He, for years, wrote all the grants to get money to employ needy summer kids in our summer work program. He's a wonderful disciplinarian. Best about Dennis is he's a caring person, quiet in his own way. He's being honored tonight most specifically because he helped work to see that we got a $70,000 grant to expand our opportunities for those people in this community in the adult basic ed program to advance the cause of adult literacy. Please help me thank Dennis O'Leary. This next guy is just about the most wonderful guy in the town of Wakefield. All you need to ask is about 2,000 young people who have been impacted by his life and by his dedication to what he does. He's been the DARE coordinator since 1990. Again, the DARE program certainly trying to influence young people to make the right kinds of decisions in their young lives. His influence has been felt not only by kids, but staff, adults, administrators, and certainly Robert Ramaki is just a phenomenal young man and a wonderful human being. Help me honor Robert Ramaki, please. When I think of this next person, I think of excellence, high expectations for herself and for everyone she impacts. I think of all those gold medals that she's brought to Wakefield. The thought of all the hundreds of hours while the rest of us on weekends go home that she's out helping train bands to be better bands and young people to be better young people. She outfinds in young people those things they didn't even know they had. She brings out their talents. She's performance-based. Everything she does, she's on the stage, and she does it well. She's a very caring person. She's worshipped and respected by everyone who come in contact with her. Truly, in my experience, and I've met many, many wonderful people in my career, but certainly Kim Smith is among the very, very best I've ever worked with, and I'm proud tonight to honor Kim Smith. Please help me. Lastly, I know the evening's been a bit long, but it's so important that we step back once a year and do these kinds of things to recognize those people who give so much more than what we could ever expect of them. And again, one of those people is Mary Walsh. Very good. I think she was cheering, right? Mary certainly is a highly valued employee. She worked for years as an office assistant at Doyle, and she's come into our office and brought a sense of competence and always a wonderful smile. What we honor her tonight is not only for those things, but for all the things she's done over the years in the OM program. That program that has resulted in kids going off to states, nationals, and worlds to represent the town of Wakefield. Again, Mary brings the kind of administrative support that Sue Majeski certainly brings to me. She's brought that support to Barbara Jeffrey Richards in the OM program. So I'd ask Barbara if you'd come forward and help me tonight with Dr. Bridges. Honor Mary Walsh. She's a supporter of OM. She's a cheerleader. She's a fundraiser. She's an organizer. She's just a friend of OM. Thank you, Mary Walsh. And I think arriving from Florida are some special T-shirts of OM. Think of that. As we exit tonight, let me just conclude before I turn the microphone over to Dr. Bridges and to Lauren. Again, thank you, all of you, for your support of the Wakefield schools, for those things that will help us be on the map, not only for sports, for drama, and for music, but for high academic ideals as well. That's what we're about, and that's what we honor tonight. Thank you very much.
As promised, on behalf of our OM team, I need to insert a brief commercial message here. Our state championship OM team, as you've heard, is at Disney World competing, representing Wakefield at the World Championship. For a team of 7 children, it's difficult to raise the $10,000 needed for them and their props to be at Disney World, and they've been very active doing fundraisers. The school committee has tried to help in that effort, and if you remember last year, if you were here, I was giving the same commercial message. We are raffling off a dinner for 8 lucky winners, prepared and served by the school committee. And for those of you who have supported this dinner by buying a raffle ticket, on behalf of Mary Walsh and Barbara Richards, I thank you. And for those of you who may have missed this opportunity, you have that opportunity tonight. I know that Mary has lots of tickets, and we would appreciate any support you could give to help the children who are at the World Championship. Thank you.
In addition to all who have worked to put this together, I would like to thank our board of directors, including Mr. Terry Holmes. Thank you. But I would also like to mention Mrs. Ethel Coloris, who has rejoined our ranks, and Mr. Ralph Benson of the Savings Bank. Ralph is now on our board of directors and has helped work tremendously with his expertise in publicity and public relations. Congratulations to all the recipients. On behalf of the Wakefield Educational Foundation, I would like to thank you all for attending this evening, and we wish you a safe trip home. Good night, and we hope to see you next year. Thank you so very much.